up? What up? What up? What up? What up with it? What up with it? I'm Rio. You can follow me on IG at rio.aka.o. And I'm the host of the Water Whip podcast where dope conversations happen. And right now, we finna get into another dope conversation. You already know. You understand me? We finna get into another dope conversation. Today, we gonna talk about the stepdaddy, stepfather, and step parenting. That's what we gonna talk about today. Step parenting. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. We got to talk about it today. Let's get into some real dope conversations because I got some questions that need to be asked. You know what I mean? I got some questions. Matter of fact, here go a question for if you a stepdad, what's the hardest part nobody warned you about? If you out there listening, if you a stepdad, what's the hardest part nobody warned you about? Answer that for me. Answer that in the comments or call in one time. If you grew up with a stepfather, what did he get right or wrong? And would you date someone with kids? Hey, this would be a great time to stay tapped in with us by hitting that subscribe button, hitting that notification bell. That way you can stay in tune with us while we water whipping. Hell, you can even water whip with me. Hit that button, like, share, comment, all that. Give me a thumbs up, why don't you? You feel me? And I just told you. What you waiting on? Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. You know what I mean? Stepdaddy talk. Because believe it or not, women, man, y'all don't understand. And this doesn't get talked about enough. Or I think it's very unappreciated that men step in and be stepfathers. I don't care. Look, I don't care if he's taking your kid to the store, to the fucking mall, to the games, to basketball practice, baseball practice, football practice. If you taking them to school, man, give that man some credit. Give that man some credit. The real daddy ain't here doing none of that. I've been in relationships where I've never seen the daddy. I've been in relationships where I ain't never seen the kids talking to their daddy on the phone. The daddy ain't even showing up. I've coached kids. I've coached kids for years, the same kid, and have never seen their fathers at practice or anything. So when another man is stepping in, and I don't care if it's small help, like I said, I don't care if he's just taking them to school, give that man some credit. This is not talked about enough. This is very much underappreciated. It really is. It really is. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it today. Being a stepfather is one of the most thankless positions a man could sign up for. Nobody throws a parade. Nobody gives a round of applause for loving kids that ain't yours. They'll never have your last name. There's no handbook for walking into a family that's already got history, already got trauma. They already got inside jokes and rules and politics and policies and how they do things. That's tough. Nobody talks about that. That is tough to walk into them situations. You know what I mean? You already walking into a ready-made movie, right? And you expected to know the plot, right? It's what it doesn't get talked about enough. I think we need to appreciate it more, women. We do. I think we need to appreciate it a lot more. It's that one sentence let's talk about that one sentence that just cuts deep, right? It's "you not my real dad." That's the one. I don't know. I've never heard that. Nobody has ever said that, but that doesn't mean I've never felt it. I've never heard it. No kid has ever told me that, but that doesn't mean I've never felt it. I've helped raise kids that made me feel it, but they didn't actually say it. Damn, you not my real dad. And if you heard that, it doesn't sound violent, right? You not my real dad. But emotionally, that's a blade. That's a knife. Shit, that's a gun. You know what I mean? Because when a man steps into that role, he ain't just playing house. He paying bills. He breaking up fights. He's showing up the games. He giving advice he learned the hard way, right? He giving you advice he learned in the streets, especially boys. He's teaching them the code of being a man. It's G codes out here to being a man. How he should conduct himself as a man. When it comes to little girls, he's teaching little girls what to look for in men, how not to be taken advantage of, right? So when a kid say something like, "You're not my real dad," that hit your ego, that hit your pride, that hit your heart, that hurt. You know what I mean? That hurt. And the effed up part about it is you can't even react the way you feel. You can't react how you feel if you heard that. You got to swallow it. You got to say some goofy stuff like, "Yeah, I know, but I'm here for you anyway." Like, what? That's some grown man pain right there. You know what I mean? That's why a lot of niggas be like, "Hey, man, being a stepdaddy is a simp. That's some sucker shit." You know what I mean? Why be a stepdaddy to another nigga kids? I've heard that. Why be a stepdaddy to another man's kid? Why be held to a standard that he wasn't held to? Why be held to a standard that their real father wasn't? That's tough. That's tough. That's tough. All this is tough. You know, it's crazy because being a stepfather is responsibility without authority. And if you understand that, then that's like a scam, right? You got to care, but don't control. You got to provide, but don't lead too much. You got to discipline, but don't overstep. So basically, I'm just supposed to drive the car and don't touch the radio. Fuck it. Am I supposed to touch the steering wheel? I got to drive the car, but don't touch the steering wheel. You know what I mean? We don't talk about this enough, man. We don't talk about this enough. And in those lines, that's where resentment grows, though, right? If you don't check it, resentment will grow quick. You can't build a house where you got responsibility but no voice, right? That'll make any man feel small. Now he don't feel like a man in the house. He don't feel like the father figure. He ain't respected. He ain't respected. And when the man ain't respected, resentment grows quick. When a man feels small in his own home, that's how distance starts. That's how quiet anger builds. And then guess what's going to happen next? That man going to emotionally check out. That's just the rules of it. That man going to emotionally check out because he's not respected. He's in a house where not his kids. They, like I said earlier, they already got inside jokes. They already got, man, and you just walking in. They looking at you like, "Hey, what's up?" And then let's talk about the ghost in the room. The biological father. You know what I mean? Whether he present or absent, he still got an influence over the household. Sometimes you compete with a man who ain't even trying. Sometimes you cleaning up behind decisions you didn't even make. That's some shit. That messes with a man's psyche. You know what I mean? Because you doing the work. You in the house doing the work. But another man's name still carry emotional weight in your house. That's a weird mental position to have to live in every day. You got to be secure, mature, healed, and patient while navigating another man's shadow in your home. Ladies, that's not light work. Ladies, that's not light work. You ever, because I have, right? I've been in a house where the step kid, you ever been in a house where the step kid, maybe one of the kids is feeling emotionally down. They acting up in school and stuff like that, right? And the mother says something like, he's doing that because he's missing his real father. Meanwhile, you in here putting in all this work. Meanwhile, you just picked him up from football practice, baseball practice, basketball practice. Meanwhile, you out shooting jump shots with him and rebounder for him while working on his jumper. Or you tossing a football with him. Or you taking him to batting cage. And they say something like, "Yeah, he missing his real father." And you're like, Bruh. Man, it's tough. That's tough. It's tough for everybody. I know we talking about stepfathers though, but it's tough for everybody. It's tough for the kid. It's tough for the mothers too. It's tough for everybody, but it's hard for to be a stepfather. It really is. And we, as a stepfather, we take personal. Maybe that we shouldn't, but we do, right? Because we human, right? Kids can push you away not because they hate you, but because they love their real dad, whether he's there or not. It's the ghost. Like, they know you're not their real dad. They know we don't look alike. They know we don't have the same last names. They know you just popped up. Right. And they know that. So sometimes loving you feels like betraying them. So they create emotional distance to protect that loyalty. And again, they don't even know it, but they do. You know, they test you. They challenge you. You know, they act cold sometimes. They say disrespectful stuff, but don't even fully understand. And you got to love through that, which is crazy to think about. You loving someone who ain't even sure they allowed to love you back. That's an emotional risk men don't talk about. That's real. That's real. That's why stepdaddy is a hard job. Because, man, you're taking the gamble. I can see why some people be like, nah, I ain't doing that. I ain't messing with a chick with kids. I used to say that till I did it. I ain't messing. I had a kid and still, I got a kid, I should say. But I was saying this early, and my son was early. My son was young. I was saying that. And I got a kid. My son ain't a kid no more. I'm saying that. I was saying that. Because you taking the gamble. Just think about it. If the relationship ends, you might lose the kid too. You ain't got no court order, no rights, no protection. You can build memories for years and lose access overnight. So every stepfather is gambling emotionally. You betting your heart on a situation you don't control. That's tough. That's brave, but that's scary as hell. You know, everybody ain't built for that. But that's why some men love halfway. That's why some men don't fully get attached to the kids. Not because they heartless, but because they protecting themselves from a loss that they either seen another man go through or they have been through themselves. And like I told you, a woman told me that she don't think I mess with her kids. It ain't that. It's just probably what I just said. That's why some men love halfway. Some men don't fully attach to themselves. Not because they heartless, but because they're protecting themselves from a loss they've already experienced or seen. Right? It's a real thing, ladies. It's a real thing. I'm glad I'm talking about this. I'm glad I'm talking about this. And even I'm saying all that, why do men still step up and be a stepfather? Why do they still do it? You know what I mean? Some men is just wanting to go through the challenge. Some men is really looking to build a family, or they had some traumas. They didn't have a family when they was younger, right? So a man is looking to build a ready-made family. He just want to be in there, right? They had that abandonment when they was younger, you know what I mean, that they grew up with. So they gonna stick around. You know what I mean? And some men just like kids, right? They see kids, not whether they yours or not, right? You know, as a step parent, a stepfather, you choosing responsibility without biology. I'm sorry. Choosing presence without guarantee. And here go the one. You choosing love without certainty. You know what I mean? That's warrior energy. I give you that, but man, everybody ain't cut out for that.
Driven by poverty is a brand built on resilience, hustle, and the mindset of turning struggle into strength. It represents those who come from nothing but refuse to let their circumstances define them. Instead, they let it fuel their ambition. Make no mistakes about it. We all are driven by poverty. You're either trying to get out of it or avoid being in it. Either way, You're driven by poverty. It's the reason we get up and go to work every day. It's the reason we hustle the way we do. It's the reason we stay on the grind. And because of that, we're constantly in survival mode with limited resources. So when you're wearing this brand, just know this brand speaks volumes. Because this brand isn't for anybody, it's for everybody. It's a movement. Go to drivenbypoverty.com and support a brand that speaks volumes.
All right, let me ask y'all this. What really makes a father? Is it blood or behavior? What really makes a father? Blood or behavior? So should a man be expected to sacrifice like a father, but respected like a guest? This one for the fellas. Is it brave to love kids you might lose? Or is it reckless? And if you're a stepfather, listen to this. If you're a stepfather, listen to this. I see you. Even when nobody says thank you, I see you. Even when the house feels heavy, I see you. Even when you question it, is the role worth the emotional cost? I see you. You ain't crazy for feeling that weight. You just human for carrying it.
You can see some sort of innocence, but listen to the sentences, beware of the premises. In a sense, I'm like Adam Sandler. I played water boy every day without the cameras. I was 18s on the maximum, flipping O's through my late teens like a spatula. Fast as I can bag it up, move it out and add it up. Wasn't too long before my jewelry started matching